All right, so I don't know who needs to hear this, but everybody has a creative outlet. Now, your creative outlet might not be what we typically associate with being creative, but you have a creative outlet. So you often think of creativity as, writing, whether it's writing a book, writing poetry, writing songs, acting, performing the arts, things like that. And that's good. I ain't saying that's bad or anything like that. That is a form of creativity. But that's not the only form of creativity. Creativity to me is basically thinking of something that doesn't exist and then manifesting that into our shared reality in some way. And that could apply to so many areas. Of course, writing, of course, acting, of course, poetry and dance and things like that, right? Music, right? Of course. But also in just your normal life, the things you do in your normal life where you consider how you interact with people, how you go about your day. It could apply to business. It could apply to your job, how you do your work. It could apply to so many different areas. We all have the ability to think of things that aren't happening and then make it happen, figure out how to make it happen. I think the problem is that we're often not encouraged to be creative, and so we don't really give it much thought. And when we do think about creativity, we do often think about it as, music and stuff like that. But the reality is that that's part of it for sure, but it's not the only part of it. And the amount of people I come across that say things like, I don't have a creative bone in my body. It's not true. It's not true. Everybody has some form of creativity. And not everybody's creativity is going to be the next big idea that makes $1 million, whatever, gets you $1 bazillion. It's not always going to be a big thing. Most times it won't. Vast majority of times it won't. It's going to be something small that may only matter to just you and nobody else. But it's still creativity. It's still the ability to think of something that doesn't exist or something that does exist but in a different way and then create that, manifest that. Whether it's you write it down, whether it's you act it out, whether it's you say this instead of that, whether it's you interact this way instead of that way. We all have the ability to think of things that haven't already happened and then create that and put it out into this shared reality we call Earth. The impact of that can vary. It might be small. In fact, it probably will be small. It could be big. Not impossible, but it can happen. So the impact of your creativity is not the important bit. It's just the fact that we all can do something creative and we all have a creative outlet. We all have something that we could contribute. We're just not always encouraged to. So yeah, be creative.